Today on Cosmic Disclosure, we're at an undisclosed location with Tim. Tim is a tactical advisor in the covert governance in Germany who analyzes and suggests various strategies in relation to extraterrestrial groups in contact with Earth. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tim, not many people claim to have worked with the Greys and have an ongoing relationship like you do. Can you describe for us your first encounter with the extraterrestrials known as the Greys?
So some meetings were with only one individual Grey, some were with like up to 3 of them. Some other meetings took place differently, but the first one was me sitting there and waiting what's happening and freaking out in the moment when a being slowly approaches you, which is scary, to say the least. The energy in the room seems to change, and I think that's also what a lot of people experience when they have those encounters with Greys, that they naturally feel threatened or naturally feel scared, or a deep sense of horror runs over the body. Imagine a fresh, hot summer day and you go into an ice-cold pool. I mean, at some point you enjoy the cold pool, but the moment you get you're thrown into the cold water, it's a shocking moment. So has always been the case. But the first time it was just me sitting there, and then this being approached me very slowly, very neutral, and, you know, accordingly to some kind of protocol. Yeah, and then I have this kind of tablet device.
Before we talk about the tablet, tell me exactly what you were seeing. Could you physically describe the Grey?
A lot of body features are pretty different, but the eyes stick in your mind a lot.
Are they frontal eyes or located to the side, tear-shaped or almond-shaped?
So they are almond-shaped, pretty darkish. I don't think that there's a pupil. I never did any anatomy on something, so I didn't say, hey, come in, you know. But it's a grayish, whitish color of being. The skin it reminds me kind of the skin of dolphins. So it's actually a fiber body, which is it's not that fleshy maybe as the meat of a dolphin. And they also seem to have some kind of film over their bodies, which is transparent, which seems to be some kind of clothing which might be just functional, because it appears to be naked. He or she, whatever, appears to be naked. The Grey, being the puppet, appears to be naked.
How many digits on the hands and feet?
It's 4. 1 thumb and 3 fingers.
No nostrils or lips?
Oh, they are lips. They do have lips. They do not have a nose.
Ears?
No ears. No ears.
It's standing or sitting in front of you?
Standing. Yes, and I've never seen them sitting, actually.
How do they walk?
It's super smooth. It's totally neutral, like approaching that. No looking left, no looking right. It's just neutral. There's no pupils you can see that are, wandering. So you never know if it's looking at you, if it's looking somewhere else, because it's an artificial technology that you're interacting with a biological awareness.
Tell us about the actual interaction. Like, for example, how long did that last?
I think because the first meeting is all about experiencing the stress and the feeling that you have, it didn't take too long. maybe, I imagine maybe like 15 minutes to half an hour or something, just to, the body needs some time to get used to a frequency, just as when you get, put into cold water and the body needs like 10 minutes to adjust to that. It's the same way that your body and your mind starts functioning quite normally after 10 to 15 minutes. Before that, it's just this flight or fight response where you want to just run out of the room or scream like totally in horror or something.
So you're sitting in silence for a few minutes so you can adjust energetically to the gray?
Yeah, because your body reacts. Even if you know what's gonna happen, your body is pumping adrenaline, it's pumping your heart, blood is, it's going way up. Your body is freaking out. It's not that you're on a roller coaster without having any bodily reaction at all. Might be if you're like doing the roller coaster like a million times and that over a long term, that your body is brought to that experience, and at some point it's like, yeah, all right. But I think that takes a long time, and the body always reacts to that. Even when when you're at the cliff and you want to jump into the water and everything will be fine because there's water, it's still the body is like bringing you back and saying, no, I don't want to jump that. No way. We're gonna kill ourselves. No, don't do that. And that is something it takes a while to overcome that. And I went through, deep fear and deep horror and stuff for a month.
Did you talk? Did you have telepathic communication? How did that interaction play out?
I felt that there's some sincere interest. You can sense that there is a individual soul or an individual consciousness inside that is communicating with you, that has at times deep emotions about things, at other times doesn't react the way you're used to see people react emotionally at some topics or something.
Do you remember what you were trying to project? Were you conscious of your own body language or expressions? What was that moment like for you?
The fear is a huge part of it for a long time. The most important question, of course, is what's their agenda? Why are they here? What do they want? Are they a threat? And I mean, I'm here in a diplomatic way, but do they sense that? Do they know that? Until at some point you start to, get into conversation, which means, getting answers in some way, and then analyzing and feeling and going back and forth with information until you have something.
So this was a process over time, and you had multiple encounters once you got accustomed to the grays. Is that correct?
I had countless encounters with gray beings, countless, and yeah, on different occasions, different different information levels that they showed me, gave me, yeah.
At what point were you communicating together, and what was that communication about?
So I'm leaving out a lot of the trauma work that I, have done upon myself. But I mean, one key moment for me was to realize that we're all connected, and it's like a friendly approach to understanding a different part of ourselves. And I think that helped me a lot at that moment. And when that happened, communication changed a lot. And I also think that a lot of people that had encounters with gray aliens or aliens in general, when they have come to a point where they realize nothing bad happened and maybe it's an interesting experience, we can learn, we can help, we can grow together, then something projects from the heart and maybe things are differently.
What were the first words that were actually spoken?
I've rarely heard them speak. They were using this kind of tablet that has hieroglyphicals on the top side and German words on the bottom. I think there are many different versions of written language that the Greys use. At some cases, they were using this written hieroglyphs that appear on the screen that is somehow connected to the awareness of the person that is using that. They also are using telepathic, thought-based communication. So there are different hieroglyphs and different sets of an alphabet that the Greys are using in different situations.
You suggest that it interacts like an individual and not a collective or hive consciousness. Is this correct?
Almost. It's the best one can describe it compared to the human experience of awareness. It has, at least in level 3 consciousness and level 4 consciousness of the Greys, and they all exist at the same time, so it's different than the human experience. They have to make their way up the line, but the highest consciousness is also the most successful and stable master line of the Greys, and it's giving information down to the Greys. So while, and they pointed that out very clearly, everyone in the system of the Greys is free to choose every experience and do whatever they want in order also to gain credits, which is their kind of monetarian system. But the goal, the vision of the species, where are we heading as a collective, that is given down from one specific being, which is one master line, and they have 3 of these master lines in order to protect the stability and the success of the whole community.